Welcome to the Black and White Sessions. We are so excited today. We have the lovely and talented Briana Lee. Hi.
Thank you. Hi, Keri.
How are you?
I'm awesome.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here.
It's really awesome to be here.
It's been a long time coming. Again.
It has.
I feel like with so many of the singers that we feature here, it's always a long time coming because we start the conversation and then it's like, okay, well then we have to figure out when and how and
when people are in town. And
so maybe one of these days we'll do a behind the scenes how this all actually comes together. Maybe I should do that.
I love
so
it.
everybody can know.
I love it. Well, I've been a fan of this for a while. I've been a subscriber
Yay.
on YouTube for a while, so this was really cool.
I'm so glad. Thank you for supporting and being a part of our little Black and White Sessions family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's jump in a little bit. I would like to know, I know you're from Northern California, correct?
Yeah, Texas born.
Texas born.
Northern California raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
And talk just a little bit about how you went from Northern California to moving to LA.
I moved to LA when I was in Northern California, I was going to a college and I started touring overseas with a French rock artist who actually recently passed away. His name's Johnny Halliday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and a lot of his band were LA based, and so some of his horn section found out that I sight read music and encouraged me to move to LA. And so I just, 2 months later, dropped out of college and packed up all my things and moved here. Yeah, and it's been an adventure. Yeah.
How were your parents about you making that decision?
It was funny. I asked them if they could go to coffee with me, and we sat down. And before I could even say anything, my mom goes, "Are you moving?" I was like, yeah, and they just. They cautioned me obviously about leaving school, but were encouraging, and they just raised me to work really hard. So they just reminded me okay, if you're gonna go, go and work really hard and do your best and all of that. My parents were musicians when I was younger. Now they're pastors, but they get it. I'm lucky they understand somewhat this life.
Let's talk a little bit about, I think you had said, was that around 2014? Around that time, I think, that you were saying?
Yeah, it's almost been 4 years since
I've been here. 4 years. And the thing that's interesting to me is, I've been here a long time. A real long time. 17 years, I think, of being in LA. But all that to say, I feel like your name kind of came on the scene and things started happening for you, at least in our industry, relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Would you feel the same? That it kind of took off a little bit like a rocket, even though it's still hitting the pavement? It did feel to me, I heard your name and the next thing I know, you're doing this. You got your hands in tours and singing on films and TV shows, and you kind of jumped in and started doing all the things. So did it feel that way to you?
Not in the moment. Now it does. It feels like that. What a lot of people don't know is that this is actually my second move to LA. In 2008, I moved here to go to music school. It's now LACM. It was LAMA. It's now the LA College of Music in Pasadena. But I attended that school for a year and had every intention of launching my career then, but had to move back up north for a surgery, and that's why I ended up going back to school and was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But things in the moment obviously didn't feel fast, when you're poor and you don't have anything on the calendar. And I started hustling, singing at weddings, and eventually kind of got that to be a regular thing. And that took a second, but then I just, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to do sessions, and I love TV and film music, and so I just called every single person I know who's in this industry, in our little sphere of the music industry, and joined the Los Robles Master Chorale, which has a lot of session singers in it, and just kind of did, I feel the ultimate hustle for a while.
Yeah, just getting people to know who you were or what your abilities were, and all of that.
And it's weird for us, you have to really figure out what your little skill set is and what works. There's some singers who can do everything, some singers who are incredible artists, and some who are just really, really great at film, TV, and that's what I really found. I found I was really comfortable in that pocket.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about La La Land because you're one of the singers here. You along with Berica May. I know she did a lot of work on La La Land.
I love Berica May.
Yes, and you kind of had an interesting turn of events with that movie because you ended up being on camera.
Yeah.
Which is rare for studio singers to end up with on camera
one of the very few
moments.
I've had.
So let's talk about that. What was the entry into La La Land? Was it the choral, the score part, or was it more of the individual? Okay. But tell us what you did in the film.
I love this story because it involves some session singers, so I get to shout them out. La La Land was my Taft-Hartley, which was insane.
Which, just so you know, Taft-Hartley means if you want to work in LA, you have to be a member of SAG-AFTRA. Yeah. And in order to work, if you're not a union member, it's called a Taft-Hartley, so it's just kind of your entry into being eligible
rite of passage
to be a union member. Yes, everybody has to have a Taft-Hartley at some point. So that was yours.
In the club, that was it. So
La La Land is a good one.
La La Land was a good one, which at the time I had no clue what it was. So I got La La Land because Nayana Hawley, who I believe has done one or two of these, and that's like great. My sister. I love her so much. She gave my name to Jasper Randall, who was contracting the movie, to actually do the on-camera. So I went in to do the on-camera, and they called and said, are you available to do all the background vocals for this John Legend song called Start a Fire? So I showed up at Marius DeVry's house. He's one of the writers. Showed up to his house and recorded all these background parts and ended up doing some demos that aren't actually on the film. Some stuff in French, some just really random songs, but recorded all the stuff for the John Legend song and then filmed that scene, that Start a Fire, like the cheesy John Legend and Ryan concert scene, which is so fun, and they were just, everyone in that whole set was so awesome. But at the time they were like, it's this little musical, and we don't know if it'll do anything, you know. I was like, okay, like great. I like kind of forgot about it. You didn't hear anything for like a year, and then we did the choral session at Sony, and the writers who I had worked with previously, Justin Hurwitz and Marius, they asked if I could stay after the choral session and audition to provide one of the soloists for that opening like freeway scene. So there's the second soloist. This black girl gets out of the car and she does a little duet. That's also my voice. I went in and like sang for Damien and made sure he was okay with it and ended up doing that voice as well. So that's kind of my La La Land thing.
And people don't realize how long ago that was.
That's so long ago. I mean, and those sessions were within a year of each other. And then a year after that, almost a year after that, the movie came out because they kept pushing the release date back, which that's kind of when I first started to realize like, oh, this is a big movie. They're finding like a better release time. I think they ended up releasing it in December so it could be an Oscar contender. And just one of the like most positive experiences I've had in the music industry because everyone working on that was just incredible people and really just wanting to be creative at the time.
And what a great launching for you in that way, as far as that being like your Taft-Hartley, like to say, okay.
It's like, oh, yeah.
Well, off we go.
That's
which has obviously led to other things, and it's been really great. Talk to us a little bit about, because although it is awesome that you do a lot of this studio work here, you also travel and do tours. And I know you've done stuff with Nick Jonas. You're currently about to go off and do some summer dates with Elvis Costello. Who you've been with for a while.
Yeah, for a little over a year, and I don't even remember how I ended up getting that. I auditioned for Elvis in someone's house, in our bass player's house, and for the other singer, Kitten Karoy, and that's just ended up being like the greatest.
So this is good for you because it gives you variety. You're not just in one.
I'm home a little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of a homebody. Like, I live out in Pasadena, like just kind of out of the mix of things and live like very normal life. And then Elvis just does like spot dates, or he'll do like 2 or 3 week tour runs, which for me is like the greatest because there are some artists who go on the road for really long periods of time, which if it's the right artist, it's the right situation or whatever, that's awesome. But for me, it's really great to be able to come back and forth between the road and to come home and work in the studio and see the people I love and, you know.
Yeah, and it's a good season in your life to see the world. So
see
if those, if those things come, why not? You know?
I know, we're going to the UK and I've never been, so I'm really excited to kind of see that part of the world, that part of Europe.
That's going to be so great.
Thank you.
Well, we hope you enjoy your summer. By the time this airs, it'll probably be winter. So
that's right.
I guess we're hoping you had a great summer at that point.
For both of us.
Yes.
I have to brag on you just really quick because I still have an email that you sent me my very first session with you.
Really?
And I was really nervous, and it was either Capitol Records or Henson, something that was intimidating, and I was new, and I didn't know anyone at the session, and it was a tight-knit group of people, and I came home, and I was like, I don't know, it was really scary, and you sent me this amazing email just encouraging me and telling me what a great job I did and welcoming me to LA, and so that's just been something I've really treasured and something I really appreciate about you. You're just one of the most, like, welcoming, incredible people in this industry.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that, and thank you for keeping that email. That makes me feel good. It's like,
that's a good
well,
one.
maybe I'll send more of those to people.
That's good. Thanks, Keri.
Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
See ya.